Each man was like a heavyweight champ of the world boxer.
Out of 100%, only 10% made it.
I thought I was going to die.
There wasn't no holding back.
You had to hang in there. You had to be tough. We marched 118 miles in 3 days.
The training I got and the men I trained with gave me the confidence to go into battle.
We were just a bunch of ordinary kids when we went in, most of us. And a lot of the training was to build you up physically and mentally.
Some of them lost as much as 40 pounds, but I didn't have nothing to lose. I weighed about 130. If I'd have lost 40 pounds, I wouldn't have been big enough to stay.
You know, they weeded out so many. They'd be there one day and they'd be gone the next.
They couldn't keep up with it. You understand? They were good men, but they couldn't take that hard training. Well, he had the cream of the cream.
Had to climb this mountain called Currahee every morning, run it up and back. If you couldn't do it, why, you'd end up in another unit.
Of course, the name Currahee, as I understand it, means we stand alone together. That's an Indian name. It became a symbol of the camp because it was really rough and tough going up and down.
A lot of times, especially on a Monday, when some of the guys would get out somewhere and get them a little drink or so, you'd see them laying beside the road, you know, going up and coming back, you know, where they're sick.
And it didn't matter how hard they trained you and how tired you got, you would still go out on your own and run the mountain at night, which was ridiculous because when you had to run it during the day, all you did was bitch and moan. And at night, you'd get a couple of guys and go up and do it on your own.
We learned how to be soldiers at TOCCOA as a group, all of us coming in from no experience in the Army at all, coming in directly from civilian life.
I'm going to say this. I believe that the paratroopers of the 101st Airborne Division was as well trained as you could get a soldier to be at that time.
We packed our own chutes for the first jump.
Nervous as hell getting on a plane.
You're asking yourself, what the hell am I doing here?
When it came time to stand up and hook up, we did.
Coming down is great.
It affects everybody different.
Felt like a bird flying in the air.
Broke my foot on the first one.
They're dropping 16 feet a second.
I can remember just like it was yesterday. That morning after breakfast, they marched us all out there to the airfield. There was a bunch of guys out there that already made their jump. And they was all hollering, "You're gonna be sorry," you know.
You didn't want to be afraid, you know, because all these other guys are right there with you, and you know, your bravado and all that. But you didn't want to be afraid, so you kept that out of your mind.
You know, in those days, jumping out of an airplane is not like today. My first flight up, I jumped. I was years before I ever landed in an aircraft. And most of the fellow troopers was the same story.
Well, foolishly, I didn't think it'd be so tough, but the first jump you make is not all that bad. You don't know what you're doing. It just seems like when you step out the door, why, your chute just opened right then.
As I went out the door, I was blank. I cannot remember leaving the plane until after the chute opened up. My God. But after that, it wasn't as bad.
But it was quite a thrill. It was just like going on a roller coaster. You get off and you want to go right back on again. Yeah.
It was a thrill. It was a high, as they say these days. Everybody just seemed to enjoy themselves. They went out. The landing was the hardest part.
Once I got out and the chute opened, I was happy to Lord. You know, coming down is great. I was small too, and I didn't hurt myself when I hit the ground. Some of the big ones hit the ground like a ton of, what's his name?
The thing you worried about most was your chute. Did you pack it right? And you'd go through that, you'd pack it one day and jump the next day. You had all night to think about it. You had all kinds of ideas of what you might have done wrong, but it worked out fine.
We made 5 jumps in the 3rd week there, and then you were a qualified paratrooper. Got your wings pinned on, and became one of the elite members of the parachute regiment.
We were thoroughly prepared.
The men were trained, hardened, physically and mentally, and they were ready to jump. Thus we started off for Normandy.